Welcome to TigerWolf. I'm Josh, and this is David.
Please be aware, this podcast contains strong language and spoilers.
So, David, I heard you got a new game recently.
Yeah. Spider-Man. Well, Marvel Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. Only.
Does somebody else have a Spider-Man? I need to go do research. You talk about this.
Okay. All right, guys. So let's start with how's it look? The graphic fidelity overall was great. I had no glaring issues, unlike a certain other game I'm playing right now, but that's for later. The different suits that were in the game, pretty good selection. You had to get through the prologue and the first actual mission to be able to change suits. I had done a bunch of the side stuff, so I had enough tokens to unlock my favorite suit, which was the suit I wore for the rest of the game, the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider. Classic red with the blue hoodie. Again, one that I was surprised wasn't in the game, besides, the trademark black suit that everyone loves, was actually the suit Superior Spider-Man wears in the comics, which is convoluted, but it's Doc Ock. We'll just shorten it, simplify it. Doc Ock wears it. It's got the limbs kind of like the Iron Spider suit, so that's probably why it wasn't included. At least that's my best guess. The Iron Spider suit they use in the game is not the comic one. It's the one from the Avengers movie. So there's that. You also have like Tony's the Stark suit and a couple of other interesting picks.
So, if Scarlet Spider, I know he's your favorite. If he wasn't one of these suits that were available, what would you be? What would your next pick be?
Honestly, probably Insomniac's the advanced suit, the one they designed with the big white spider on the front. It's the main one that you see with all the promotion for the game. Or the Spider Armor Mark II, which looks like Peter read way too many Red Hood comics.
It's not the Spider Armor is not based off of the movie Spider Armors?
Nope. It's like the helmet looks straight up like Red Hood's helmet. So I was like, I like you, but I have Scarlet Spider. So, yeah.
Maybe just some side speculation here. Maybe they didn't include the Doc Ock one because he's in it.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons I thought it might be in the game. Also, side tangent.
Yeah.
Edge of Spider-Verse is a new Spider-Man event going on. The start of...
Isn't that a movie it's coming out soon? Animated movie?
That's the animated movie. Sorry. The event is Spider-Geddon.
Spider-Geddon?
Yes.
He's Spider-Geddon it on?
Oh, God, that was terrible. The first issue of it is this Spider-Man meeting Superior Spider-Man.
Which one do you think's superior?
Honestly, Doc Ock. He made a better Spider-Man.
Just because his name is superior doesn't mean he's the better one.
He made a better Spider-Man because the petty stuff, he let the cops handle it.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, you told me about
only focused, if Shocker showed up or Electro.
Somebody that is on basically his level.
But, the mugger down the street, he let the cops do their job.
I feel like there's like a connection to like the way he is and the way Batman is in a lot of ways. Because Batman handles the petty crime too.
He does. But besides just the suits, the different suits actually had different powers. Mm-hmm. I actually through the game used the advanced suits power, which is battle focus. Gives you the ability to fill your focus bar rapidly, so you can heal or do the special finishers.
Yeah, because it enhanced certain abilities that you had, right?
Yeah. The one you get with the Scarlet Spider suit is holographic clones that mock the enemies and distract them. So let's go with control-wise. The combat was initially kind of difficult because I was expecting Web of Shadows style combat, and that is not what I got.
From what I've seen of it, I haven't played it myself, as we talk about it.
Yeah.
But From what I've seen of it, it fits him. It just takes some getting used to.
Yeah, the gadgets were the monkey wrench.
I've heard I've heard it's similar to Arkham Knight, I think controls, or one of the Batman ones.
Yeah.
It's just that you can do it from further away with Spider-Man because webs.
Yeah. I was just expecting you to, if I pressed the web shot button, I did the web shot. If I held it, I did bigger web shot. And that's not how this works. The impact webs, which are the larger web spray, things like that, were all on the gadget wheel.
Well, yeah, because in this one, this is
It's
much
an
like
older
the
spider.
much like the Spider-Man that I loved from the '90s show. It is gadget webbing, not natural webbing.
Yeah. It was just getting it in my mind to remember, oh, I have to tap R1 or I have to tap L1 to switch what gadget I'm using. And remembering the correct gadget for, the situation.
I mean, it had hot swapping and everything, right? Like if you
tapped it, it would go between.
I almost said why.
It would go between the last two you used.
Okay, so they based that off of.
You had the wheel that you would select.
Based it off of first-person shooter controls. It sounds like.
Yeah, kind of
for the weapon wheel.
Yeah. The most used gadgets the ones I used the most were Impact Web and Web Bomb. Impact Web, it's a bigger web. Most of the small enemies or regular enemies, it would throw back, and if they hit a wall or something, they'd be webbed to the wall and out of the fight. The Web Bomb, you throw the bomb at somebody, it sticks to them, and it webs everybody around them.
Which is super cool.
Which is super useful.
I like, from what I've seen of the gadgets, and I don't think I've seen them all, the one I liked was the trip mine.
That one's fun.
Because
there's an achievement with the trip mine.
I'm more of a stealth player, so I would probably be stealthing a lot more.
There's an achievement for the trip mine one.
What's that?
Specifically? You have to web 2 enemies 10 times using the trip mine. You have to catch 2 people at once.
Can you throw it on somebody and hit somebody else?
I know, yes and no. I was able to do it. I don't know if it was a glitch or not, but I was able to do it to some of Sable's jetpack guys. I'd throw it on them, and then they would get webbed to the ground.
So potentially they could have gotten webbed to each other.
Yeah, potentially.
I don't know, like, if that mechanically is in there. That's interesting.
So
I probably would have got that.
I'm working on it. I think I have like 6 out of 10.
Sucks that this came out only on the PlayStation.
A lot of people are mad about that.
I mean, it's a Sony.
It's a Sony game.
So, I understand, but I don't own a PlayStation 4, and I'm not going to buy one for, a total of 3 games that I want to play for it.
That's fair.
That said, I do want to get a Switch specifically for Breath of the Wild, but I also want to play things like 1-2 Switch and stuff like that.
Yeah. I bought a Switch specifically for Breath of the Wild,
right.
And
so that I don't have to. I'll just borrow yours.
And Valkyrie Chronicles 4 and Hyrule Warriors.
And I guess I should have gotten you 1-2 Switch since I thought you would have already gotten that.
No,
because I don't know. It'd just be fun to have for other people.
I want to get
I want to be able to, for you and like Tiny when in a little, like another year or so when he starts playing video games with us, to be able to come over and absolutely hate playing Mario Kart and Mario Party and everything. Like I just want to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right. So
yeah, speaking of webs,
the linchpin for this game, for me,
I would dare say for any Spider-Man game,
it was the web swinging.
Oops.
If it was not good, game was a failure. I didn't care how good the story was. I didn't care anything else. If I did not want to just web swing around New York, they screwed up. The first 3 hours I had the game after I finished the prologue and could just free roam, that's exactly what I did. I just swung around town. And like, you're able to fast travel. I didn't use it frequently because it was just more fun to just swing around. That being said, I am not necessarily good at the web swinging. I just enjoy it.
You can do tricks and get like points and stuff too.
Yep.
I think that was the best addition for it because getting the web swinging down is one thing. We've had that before with Spider-Man 2.
Or
Spider-Man
Web of
2 was very
Shadows.
fluid. I don't know. I don't play Web of Shadows.
You didn't? I thought you watched. Well, I
No.
thought at least you watched. Me
I
play.
remember you sitting me down when you got Spider-Man 2 and were like, find me spider tokens.
Yep.
Because I apparently gravitate towards collectibles.
I don't.
But there's always that one where because I just gravitate towards them, I don't typically use a map. And then it's like, okay, which one of these did I miss?
Yeah. What am I missing?
Okay.
But yeah, the web swinging, it was. I found out that I was not good at it because of one of the challenges given to you by Taskmaster, which is chasing drones that drop little cameras that you have to pick up. I am clearly not as good as I thought I was, but still pretty fun.
So wait, what about the drones was particularly difficult?
So the drone would take off and you're chasing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would drop like a camera on this street sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would go around this building, up the building, and then drop one up here, and then down and over here around this building, drop one in the middle of the street, go under the bridge, go up onto the bridge, drop one there. And you're trying to swing and catch all and go through the little radius bubble of the camera to pick it up.
To pick it up as you go.
As I'm going under a time limit.
So it's the only thing that they had in Superman 64 where you could fly through rings.
Yeah, basically. Basically, yes. Some of the other challenges and side quests led to like the collectibles. There were backpacks all over the city. There's actually an in-universe reason for that, for him to have so many backpacks. He won the Fisk Science Fair, and that was one of the prizes, a lifetime supply of backpacks.
So he doesn't have to
buy them.
Well, he doesn't have to keep track of them as much as like most people would because it's, $30 for a backpack.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, each of the backpacks had something in it, some.
Well, yeah, isn't the idea that
collectible.
he left them around because like it was somewhere he had to change real quick into Spider-Man and just kind of left his stuff there?
Yeah. One of the more notable things I remember getting was, oh yeah, that card I got from the blind lawyer who said if Spider-Man ever needed, wait, he's blind. How did he know I was Spider-Man? And it's a Nelson Murdoch.
Well, of course
law
it is.
Firm.
That's cute. That's good.
Yeah,
I like
it's little
that.
things like that. I was like, okay. One of them was a shirt he should have washed 6 years ago. He opened it and goes, oh God. Oh, that was the gym shirt I needed to wash like 6 years ago. Oh. Not all of them were good things. One of the other side missions is taking pictures of landmarks throughout New York, like the bar with no name where supervillains go for a drink. Alias Investigation.
Is that the bar Deadpool frequents?
Yes. That's one of the bars Deadpool frequents.
No, I mean the one where they have the Deadpool and then that's how he got his name?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
And then like the Sanctum Sanctorum. You take a picture of it, Spidey goes, awesome window, but I always feel like there's something strange going on in there.
Boo.
The Avengers Tower, Rand Industries, just important things that would stick out. Also, actual landmarks, like the bridges around New York, the Brooklyn, the Manhattan, so on and so forth.
Is the Empire State Building in there?
Yes, or Chrysler Building, both. Madison Square Garden, so on and so forth. It was kind of fun, just web swinging around. Empire State.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Empire State University is another one, which is where Peter actually went to college.
Oh.
But yeah, it was it was fun little thing, just going around taking pictures of important places. And I'm like, I don't have to visit New York now.
Still should. I'd like to one day.
I'd like to.
I've only been through New York. I haven't actually.
I've never gone that far north on the East Coast. Farthest north I've ever been was Washington, D.C.
Which was a school trip, wasn't it?
But yeah, it's fun.
And, in Homecoming, Peter goes on a trip to Washington, D.C. too. Huh. And
but I'm terrified of spiders.
So does Spider-Man.
I'm terrified of spiders. So
you know what? That would have been great if he was terrified of spiders and that happened to him.
I think he is.
I think he is now.
That's fair. But one of the side quests, you're chasing down another Spider-Man.
Another Spider-Man?
A guy posing as Spider-Man.
You mean Arachnadude?
No. So you come across the first place where he'd been, and you investigate one of the guys. He's laying on the ground. He's like, okay, he's still breathing. So he's not a lethal protector, which is a Venom reference, because that's what Venom is called in his first solo series when he moved back to San Francisco. The
lethal, I messed it. I almost said detector. The lethal detector. Boo, boo, boo.
And they're dead.
Did they just die from the sound?
Yep. Another one of the side quests is Black Cat. She calls you. And I don't know if this is because I've played Spider-Man games and I've been a Spider-Man fan for a while, but it was unknown caller. And I heard the voice. I'm like, that's Felicia Hardy.
Also, to note, he is literally wearing a Spider-Man shirt right now.
Oh, bugger. I am. I forgot about that. But, I heard the voice. I'm like, oh, that's Felicia. Oh, that's Felicia. And she has you go around trying to find these little cat things where she's marking her targets.
Oh, I was about to say, careful, David.
And, every one of the spots where you're looking through the camera trying to find it, there's a poster of a cat playing with a spider or dancing with a spider or loving on a spider. Some
other oddly flirtatious thing going on.
Yeah. But at the end of finding all of them, you get a new suit that's all black with a red hourglass on the chest, which I thought was a nice touch. In the comics, the suit has absolutely nothing to do
he's
with
a
cat.
Female Black Widow? Wait, no, it'd be on his butt then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or back. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Black Cat thing was literally just a setup for the DLC heist, because once you collect all of them, she uses them to break into police lockup to steal her gear back.
Okay. So what about the story overall? What do you think about that?
It was good. I enjoyed it, but all right, let me preface this. It was a comic book story.
A comic book story for a comic book character? David, that's absurd.
So there are sections where you have to go, okay.
Basically, you have to roll your eyes and go, I'll deal with this.
Comics. Okay.
I mean, they were staying true to their source material.
They were. Honestly, the biggest stretch for me was how, spoiler, Miles gets bit by one of the spiders. That was the biggest stretch.
He wasn't in the lab like Spider-Man was? No? Was it the same spider?
No.
So his powers should be moderately different then.
Yeah.
Potentially.
He should, if they stay true to the comics, he's going to have like a neurotoxin that can incapacitate a foe.
Going to have? So you think he's going to show up as
Spider-Man?
I was about to say, he's called Spider-Man, so he doesn't have a specific... It's not like, all the different Red Robins, and they kind of have their own way of being Robin afterwards, at least.
Yeah, Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin. But yeah,
Batman's got all this shit covered in red.
Yeah.
At night.
There's probably
Darkwing
a really
Duck.
bad joke in there somewhere that I'm just going to leave alone.
Something about Batman training Howard the Duck, and then they end up with Darkwing Duck.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Not the fact that Bruce is attracted to little boys.
Whoa. Whoa. I thought he just went into people's houses at night and punched them.
Both? That's even more awkward. Okay, moving on. Okay, so MJ is Mary Jane sneaks into Norman Osborn's penthouse.
Wait, what?
MJ sneaks into Norman Osborn's penthouse.
Oh, sneaks into. Okay, that's much better.
Finds a hidden room where there's a lab. And there's a bunch of terrariums, but she doesn't pay that much attention to it.
Well, she should have. Oh, I kind of see where this is going already.
She looks over at one, and that's when she notices there's a spider in it. And she kind of leans down, looks at it, and jumps at the glass. So she backs up into another terrarium that hits the ground and shatters. That gets the attention of one of the other characters. They come into the room. She's hiding under the desk, and there's a fucking spider.
You can go to hell with that shit.
It's
crawling up her shoulder?
Yes. And she's like, so the other character walks out. MJ jumps up and starts just...
You goddamn straight she was.
just freaks out for a second.
Okay? These spiders, as you're describing them to me, are not as small as the one that bit Spider-Man. You know, the neon...
This was a big one.
The neon blood red and blue spider that bit him.
This was a big one. And they're black with a red symbol on the ass, but it's not an hourglass.
Not an hourglass. Well, yeah. I think they show something like that in...
The Amazing Spider-Man, because I think it had...
So one of the movies.
Spiders. Yeah. So... She leaves. She gets out of it. She gets out of the lab. She gets through the apartment to the balcony, jumps off the balcony because she gets seen by the security force that's in the apartment, jumps off the balcony. Pete catches her. They web swing across town, get to Feast, which is like a relief center where Aunt May works, and where Miles is currently working also.
And a certain person was running.
Yeah, a certain character was running.
He's a pretty negative dude.
A couple of other story beats occur. Pete gets the crap kicked out of him, gets brought back to Feast. You know, probably 16, 17 hours later.
Okay.
Pete got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man. I got that.
And MJ, she goes, "Do you think you can beat them?" And he goes, I don't know.
Talking about the Sinister Six, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't know if he can do this.
Not six at once. I mean, just because Pete's taken six at once before doesn't mean they were villains. I'm talking about criminals.
That was a really awkward way to phrase that, Josh. So after encouraging Peter, he's like, all right, I got it. I can do that. So he leaves. She sets her hand down on the railing. A spider crawls off of her jacket onto the railing.
See, I was really hoping that's not where this was going. I thought it was just going to be the spider was in Feast and bit Miles, because that would make the most sense, because it could have come off of her as soon as they got back there.
Yeah. I would have been okay with that. I would have been like, all right. But this, I'm like, really?
Also, why do radioactive spiders seem to have a proclivity to biting specific individual humans for no reason at all?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an explanation for that. Maybe it's sentency or sentence. Proper
sense. They spider sense that this is a good person.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, all right.
We'll go with that. Kind of like how the things in the Doom movie intentionally tried to avoid good.
The Doom movie wasn't good.
How it intentionally tried to avoid people with good morals.
Wait, what movie are we talking about?
The Doom movie with The Rock.
The monsters avoided people with good morals?
Yeah, they would attack and turn people with bad morals, because if they attack someone with good morals, they just made them better, like the main character of the movie.
I'm so confused right now. But anyway.
So the spider goes down off the railing, down into a group of boxes. Miles goes down. Miles comes around the corner, picks up the boxes, and gets fucking bit. That was the most glaring one for me. I'm like, really, guys? So everything goes to shit. And side note, the New York Police Department apparently has rocket launchers in lockup for no reason. I mean, probably for supervillains, but I don't know why a police force needs rocket launchers. So at this point, I'm like, where the hell is every other New York superhero? To which my almost 2-year-old son responds, Spider-Man! So either Spider-Man is Batman, and he is the only superhero in New York.
Allowed to be in New York.
Or, much more likely, Luke Cage and Iron Fist are out doing something. Daredevil hasn't become Daredevil yet. Jessica Jones just doesn't give a fuck.
You think Daredevil hasn't been No, he gave him a fucking card already, according to the reference there.
Yes,
which would mean
he's become Daredevil.
No. He's definitely Daredevil, but I don't think Spider-Man handles Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, he does.
Well, maybe there's just shit happening that didn't get his attention.
Daredevil has become Daredevil yet.
I don't think that Daredevil would not become Daredevil before Luke Cage and Iron Fist. But Iron Fist has been Iron Fist for a very long time. Yeah. He's not
Luke's
necessarily
been
in
Luke for a very long time.
Iron Fist has not necessarily been in New York.
Yeah. Moon Knight probably doesn't exist yet. The Avengers, it's stated when you take a picture of the Avengers Tower, they're somewhere on the West Coast, probably surfing.
I mean, heroes need vacations
too. Doctor Strange, busy with some magical stuff. Maybe.
It could be in a completely different realm.
Exactly. Talking to mom. Anyway.
What about the publisher?
Probably off putting criminals to the press.
I can't handle it. Oh, goodness. What about the Punisher?
Punisher probably killing criminals. Pick a war zone in the world. That's where he is.
We did. It's called New York.
When the Sinister Six first actually are all together at one time, I was uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, like you thought you were going to get your ass kicked?
Yeah. Thankfully, all of that was a cutscene, so I didn't have to worry about it.
But Pete did.
Pete did. Another interesting part of the story, you actually play as MJ and Miles at certain points. Now, so when you're playing as Miles, there is the white paint to climb here cliche.
Like with
Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider.
God of War. Take your pick.
There's only 2 I know of, but okay.
And all 3 of them are able to be like, oh, there are enemies and interesting aspects I need to pay attention to. All 3 of them are apparently assassins.
Why do you say that? Because they can climb things? Vision. Well, I mean,
that person's an enemy.
Is this after or before? Well, MJ.
Yeah, I was saying
MJ's a detective. MJ's a detective
reporter.
Detective reporter.
Yeah.
And Miles, did he get bit before or after?
After.
After
the first time you play as him, which you are still able to be like, that's something of interest.
I think that's just enemies. So that you can have gameplay-wise guidance.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Yeah, it was just, I was trying to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. It's Assassin's Creed very much did bring that into the limelight.
Yeah.
And now we have it for a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. In a lot of ways, it's easily explained away.
Yeah.
For Spider-Man, it would be his spider sense. For MJ, it would be the fact that she's had sex with Spider-Man. And for Miles, it would be
destiny.
All right, I'll go with it. I had nothing better.
So the post-credit scenes, Miles tells Peter, shows Peter he can stick to walls. Like something happened. And Osborn opens up a container and Harry is in this.
Is this where Harry's actually been the whole time?
Yeah, it's where Harry's been the whole time.
So
And
Osborn
there's
set up
this
the
thing-
drop things to do?
Harry set them up,
Oh, okay.
but Harry isn't in Europe.
Yeah, no, I got that. Yeah.
He's got this stuff sticking to him, and
A symbiote style?
Norman has his head down and his hand on the thing, and he's like, I promise I'm going to figure out a cure. And then sticks to the glass.
So Harry's going to be Venom. That's interesting. I don't think he's been the host
He
for
hasn't
Venom
been
yet.
Venom that I can think of.
All right, guys. I think that pretty much wraps up your Spider-Man. Look,
Yeah, that's it encompassed. I mean, the next things that are coming out is you've got the Heist in October, Turf War in November, and Silver Lining in December.
which we potentially may cover in
I'll at least mention.
another. What are we calling this? Oh yeah, shitty game reviews with Josh and David.
Well, I suppose that's the end of the episode.
Please like, comment, follow, and share. And also, more importantly, thank you for listening.
Take care.
Bye.